Hello, this is Tara Ratney. And again, author may not know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to say it anyway. And this commentary, this additional commentary that's taking place, involves my um, my writing off single interaction when it comes to their romantic entities. Throughout my commentaries, I keep going back into the discussion about what's considered sanctioned by God and what's not, and what's man-made and what isn't. And the most important factor for me constantly dismissing a single person's feelings when it comes to issues they go through in a relationship. Well, that's primarily the reason because of the what's not mentioned or discussed in the Bible as being a circumstance you really have a right to be concerned about. And of course, not to say that I don't have regard for people who fall in love, who you fall in love with, and who you desire to invest your romantic entities into. I'm not dismissing that at all. I realize that in this day and time, going back to what I said about people not being able to get married like they should and things of that nature. So I get it. You meet somebody, you believe this is somebody you want to be with or you should be with, and you invest in that relationship to get it to the place of possibly a permanent long term circumstance. So it's understandable why anybody might be a little tiffed or miffed over my constant dismissal over issues that you have to go through in that relationship or that circumstance. But again, going back to what I was saying is that part of my reason for dismissing it is because since you're not technically entangled in the kind of relationship that God is really part of, that this relationship more or less is the driving force is the parties involved, you and this other person, and it's an unofficial circumstance, and since God did not really give us permission to have sex outside of marriage and things of that nature, then you don't really have a leg to stand on from that. So when you invest in these kind of relationships in that way, or even financially, how you invest in a person, like instead of you putting money aside for your true mate, you're spending up all your financial entities on the hope that this relationship is going to get you what you want. You know, that's just the chance you took. That's what I always say. That's the chance you took, and so therefore you have to live with that. However, the big reason for this commentary is the problem solving issue. When you do go through situations in your relationship, in this kind of relationship, that you understanding that really the only you don't the importance of understanding why you don't need to bring other people into it is because you're the real key to whether the situation will exist or not, because it's an unofficial relationship, since it's not really something that's really truly has the true merit of a marriage, so to speak. Then you don't have to tolerate any kind of behavior that you're not comfortable with. Now, of course, you could be going through a growing spirit period yourself where you might need to see what's right and wrong, and that person is behaving properly. You're just not used to it. But it doesn't matter what the reason for the uncomfortableness is, whether you should change or that person should change. The reality of it is, until it works for you, it doesn't work for you. And the only way or to me, the proper way of handling this is to accept the fact that this is not a permanent relationship and that you're not sanctioned to be in it. Then you go ahead and move on with your life. And that means that you might have to, address your feelings from within yourself and say, this is not worth the uncomfortableness I have to go through in order to be in this relationship. And so that's only you can make that decision. That's why you don't need other people from the outside commanding your ship or giving you their advice, because Everything that they're talking about, they're not going to be able to make up for whatever you feel like you lost or gained from it. Like some people will tell you to stay in a relationship, you need to leave a circumstance like this that you need to let go of because they don't want to see you by yourself, or they believe that this is the best thing you could have. And then of course you're going to have some people going to tell you they want you to leave because for whatever, whether they see that this person is not a good person for you, there could be some hate going on, and if they don't have nobody, they don't want you to have nobody, or they could want the person themselves. I mean, it could be 101 reasons, but the reality of the circumstance is whatever's holding you there is what you have to deal with, and you have to do some soul searching within yourself as to why you're tolerating something that doesn't work for you. You know, when I was going through my changes with my daughter's father, there was extra circumstances involved that caused me to put up with his behavior, and some of the things that he was doing. But once I kind of realized that those things that I felt was keeping me there were not merited, it was over with. It was over with because me being afraid of being alone, I had, like I said, I had gotten attacked by another person, and something came out of that that caused me to feel like this is the best I could do at the point. You know, I was already kind of borderline concerned about the situation, and when this came about, it caused me to fall back a little bit, with me feeling like this is all I have, and so I kind of let him take advantage of me in that circumstance. And once things kind of got more clearer that I really was better off without him, and it didn't matter if I never met another person or if I never got with another person again, I would still be better off. That's when I was able to break free of the relationship and everything. And so that's how come I tolerated so much. It was because of my fear being by myself and thinking that I wouldn't have anybody else. So the point I'm trying to get at is that I understand that things can hold you back, whether it's emotionally, mentally. I mean, outside environments and things of that nature. Sometimes it's how we were raised a lot, especially for women. Men have this too, but this is more of a woman's problem. A lot of our family, you know, they're so hung up on relationships that they constantly are pushing relationships on their children, and especially their girls, because that's supposed to be a definition of womanhood, is having a man and finding somebody to take care of you and all that other things of that nature. And of course you have a children with that problem being is again they may not be looking out for your best interest by making sure that you're with somebody you can do that with. My responsibility as a mother to my daughter isn't to dissuade her from not being in a relationship, but is to make sure that she has the good discernment to know what she should be doing. I realize that she will eventually meet someone, and hopefully she might marry this person and do things in a proper order. That's what my constant prayer is for her. But the one thing that I've learned to pray too is for God to give her discernment and to give her the vision and understanding of what's best for her through Him. As a matter of fact, I've encouraged her to utilize God to be her matchmaker instead of just going by what she likes on her natural level, or her natural entities, that she actually learns to utilize God as a matchmaker, because again He's the one who knows who's going to work through the storms with you, who's going to be able to fulfill the obligations that He's supposed to fulfill. Now again, I will caution and say this: everybody has a choice. So some people, even if that's the person God has chosen for you, doesn't always obey. But God will handle that. But as far as at least knowing that He would have brought somebody into your life that could fulfill the obligation that He desires from us. And sometimes we have to go through our journeys to get to that situation, because she may have things that she needs to work out that'll make her a better mate for him, just like there may be things he needs to work out that makes him a better mate for her. So that's part of the reason why accepting the journeys of people and things of that nature is very important, because we have to realize that we all come from different places. And because we all come from different places, some things need to be corrected. Points of view, experiences that we've garnered from and that turn into points of view. I mean, just position in your life. And so that goes back to the earlier commentary where I said that I don't believe God will put that in you and then turn around and say you can't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's our desire. That's the driving force to those situations. And that's how come we get caught up and forced to even compromise ourselves just to appease these feelings. Because you have to remember, if God tells you not to have sex outside of marriage, then why would He put you in a position where you're forced to do it? That doesn't sound right, does it? You know, just like if He hates divorce, why would He put you in a position where you can be with somebody you're gonna get a divorce from? That's why when you think about adultery was part of one of the 10 Commandments. Like, no, 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 no. There's a serious consequences for breaking vows. You know what I'm saying? Because you're actually making God look bad. You know what I'm saying? And you're making His institution look bad. So He's not going to sit by and be happy with that and turn around. So He's not going to tell you to just marry somebody or just be with somebody without making sure that that situation is right for you. So why not utilize Him as your matchmaker? Instead of, not to say that He won't use other people as a vessel, but there should be some light bulb that goes off giving you the reason why you should be with this person, and that you see the vision yourself. That should be what the deal is when you are set up by somebody else. It's not forced. It's not that you actually could see the vision. You could actually see, like, wow, I could see I could be with this person, and this person could see that they could be with you. So so God might use a person as a vessel. You know what I'm saying? Even the harmony. So I'm not against any of those outside entities, but the most important factor is your gut feelings about it and seeing things unfold. If you do give that situation a try, but give it a try under the circumstance of neither one of us are obligated to each other at this point. So as long as everybody's honest with each other and nobody's deceiving another person by trying to tell me that you are 100% when you're not, just be honest. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, you have a right to find out what you should be doing. And some people, going back to what I said, is that some people pull the cart before the horse. And so when they see something that they like, they don't assess properly where they are in their lives. They could have a past relationship that the kinks need to be worked out as far as ending it properly. They could have obligations to other situations, whether it's their career or things of that nature. And instead of postponing, this entity, a romantic entity, and say, you know what, I got some things I need to work out. And out of fairness to you, I don't want to put you in a position where you have to be concerned about where this is going because we're building feelings here. Let's just cool it for a while. You get to know each other on a slow basis, and you might get to get more information from this person where you see the transition. Like, I can see this person is really serious. I can see this person really does have it going on. I didn't know for sure what was going on in their world, but I could see firsthand because I'm their friend and I'm witnessing from the outside looking in. And I can see for myself that this person is somebody worth having. So that could even be the catalyst of you really being emotionally attached to this person because you see their growth, and vice versa for you. So that's again a good reason for the friendship entity. But the initial point of this particular commentary is you looking at you putting yourself in a position that is not really valid in the first place, not truly in the real truest sense. And when I say not valid, again, I go back to saying everybody has their way of getting to know each other. So some people do feel more comfortable on a one-on-one situation. But it doesn't have the validity of a marriage. And so you can't treat it like that. The only thing that you have in whether or not this is something as far as valid situations is does the person own up to what they represented. So if a person tells you that they want to be one-on-one with you, and that's because that's what you agreed to, and that person chooses not to do that, that means he's not a person of their word. That means she's not a person of their word. If the person, there's certain behaviors that you can see that doesn't match up as somebody you should possibly go further with, and which is really the main reason why people date. They try to find why they should spend time with these people, and getting to know you process is what's part of it. But that's even more of the reason why you don't put so much merit on it if it doesn't work out. You look at it as that God saved me from making a bad decision right now. I'm not even saying that person can't fix or correct their problems and become the person you need them to be, because they may actually need to learn that lesson that nobody's going to tolerate their foolishness. Because again, going back to what I said about consequences, if that person doesn't see consequences, then they'll think that this behavior is okay. So if they see that you're not somebody that they can do this with, and you're somebody that becomes important to them, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I can't do this with this person, so I need to learn to shape up. So you can reconcile that friendship. It doesn't mean it's over with, it's done, it's doomed. What it means is right now those people, they have issues that they needed to work out, and they didn't handle things properly. And so now they learn that the importance of handling things properly. And if they see worth, value in a friendship or relationship with you, or moving forward with you, then they know this is how I need to come. I have to come correct with this person because they don't have the tolerance to put up with my craziness. So that's whether it's men or women. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, there are women out there that they're used to being possessive, or they're used to being deceitful, or whatever the situation is. They might be spoiled, where they believe everybody got to bow down to them. Whatever the situation is, and the guy just put his foot down and said, I don't tolerate this mess. I don't have to. I don't know what you think this is. And when she realizes that this guy really has some things going on, and he's somebody that she would like to be him to be part of her life on a more serious level, she'll straighten up and fly right, because she knows that he's not gonna tolerate it. So that's part of the whole thing. This is your chance to get this mess cleaned up, and you don't have to worry about the obligations, because there wouldn't have been any if you handled it in this manner. And this is another reason why I keep going back saying, especially to men, the problem with men is sex, because it's their driving force for doing some of the things is to get sex. And no disrespect, but that's almost a form of prostitution. And of course, and I know for a fact that I've heard women say, when a woman finds out that a man is actually paying for sex directly through a prostitute, the first thing I've heard women say, well, why he giving her money that he could just have a permanent situation where know where he getting it from? Well, this is the problem with it. First of all, you ain't got no business doing it. She ain't even got no business doing it, but at least it's an upfront deal. He knows, and she knows what it is, you know. But but the other situation is from it, not just because it's not what you should be doing, is because he's paying for sex. He wants the ability to be free and do what he wants to do, or be able to walk away when he wants to walk away. That's why he's going to someone like her for that. And unless you want to play that role in which you emotionally investing with the hopes this situation is going to become permanent, you see what I'm saying? It's something not right about that. That's kind of borderline prostitution. And if you look at it from the standpoint of, even if you say, well, I don't care, I just want him to take me out and spend time with me, well, then you just, like I said, you just his constant prostitute then. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's still prostitution because you want him to do something for you and you give something back. You give him something. That's a transaction. That's not love. It's prostitution. So I'm sorry, ladies. You can have an attitude with me. I know that you're gonna say, "Well, love is involved, and it's not." And all, no, you're doing something that is not correct, and you're giving him something. He's paying for it because, again, he'll be willing to take you out, but when he's ready to walk away, he can walk away because technically he ain't yours. Y'all just have a temporary agreement. And when the agreement is not based on anything except these two parties being happy with the agreement. So if he decides I'm no longer happy with the agreement and I'm ready to move on with my life, too bad, so sad for you. And vice versa if it's him. So if he's the John and it got good to him and you decide that you don't want to deal with this no more, you have every right to walk away. And ain't nobody have anything to say on it. So that's again my commentary. Again, like I said, if you're going through some things in your relationship and it's not comfortable for you, the only person that can change that game is you. You could keep the door open and hope that that person will work it out if there's something to work out, or you learn your lesson, whichever the situation is. But in either case, you're the person that has control over whether this should be or not. And it's not a marriage. So don't look at it like a marriage and don't put it in that category that you find yourself feeling like you have to stay. The most ridiculous thing I've heard now is people have counselors for boyfriend girlfriend relationships. I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? When a simple let me move on with my life and see if you get it is the best solution. Because when that person sees that sometimes people need to see that you can move on with your life. And that's when they snap back and start taking things seriously. You know what I'm saying? And it's really when they see whether or not you want to put up, even when. Um, Unfortunately, the tape rolled over when I was recording this, so the rest of the commentary kind of got a little lost, but it was coming toward the end. So basically, I was just basically saying when a person sees that you really are serious about things, then they may take you serious and decide to shape up. So that's pretty much probably all I was going to say at that. The We have two more comment or another commentary kind of on the similar subject, but it goes into other subjects. So it's still discussing the boyfriend girlfriend relationship issue, but it's going into other aspects of becoming friends before um, becoming having a more serious relationship. So until next time, this is Tara Ratney, and again, apologize for the cutoff. Thank you.